Hey guys, welcome back. I know it's been a while since I vlogged, so I wanted to take a simpler approach when coming back to it, and I do have a plan in place for how to sort of revamp my vlogs and get back into it and just make things better for you. I'll be implementing it over the next couple of weeks and telling you a little bit more about what's going to happen. Spoiler alert, for one thing, sometime in the future, I don't know exactly when, I'm going to be branching off into different areas and talking about things besides Star Wars. Specifically fantasy stuff, but more on that later. But it's good to see everybody again. Thank you all so much for your words of advice and support, and I really, really appreciate each and every one of you. But back to business. Now, when I was looking up ideas for what to vlog about next, I typed in Star Wars vlog, and I think about 30 to 40% of the results for Star Wars vlog on the first 2 pages or so were all about Galaxy's Edge. So I figured, okay, I guess I'll pick up there. Now, as all of you know, I have not been to Galaxy's Edge. I used to live in Southern California for most of my life, but moved to Utah in late summer of 2017, so it's been almost 2 years since we moved to Utah. I love it in Utah. The cost of living is lower. Everybody is so friendly. It's got nicer weather, it's cooler, we don't get triple digits. I mean, it got up to 99 yesterday, and I think that's the hottest it's going to get. Last year it only got up to about 100. Now, comparatively speaking to like 110, 115 for a July heat wave in the desert, I will take triple digits once a year as compared to 3 months out of the year. But yeah, I absolutely love it in Utah. The only disadvantage to being in Utah is that I am, bare minimum, 800 miles away from the nearest Disney park. In this case, Disneyland. So that is one of the reasons I have not been to Galaxy's Edge, and I have no plans on going. The other reason I probably not going to get to Galaxy's Edge anytime in the next 10, 15 years, is the cost. The cost of going to Disneyland has shot up to an insane rate. During the summer season, which is right now, adult admission is something like $150 per person. The last time I went to Disneyland, I think everybody paid about $50 or $60 per person. Granted, this was about, how long ago was it? It was over 15 years ago. I think it was back in 2002. But inflation can't account for all of it. It can only account for a small part of it. Disneyland admission is crazy, and that's just the admission. Living so far away, I would have to consider transportation, which in my case would probably be taking a Greyhound or possibly a train, although that would be very convoluted. But the most likely would be taking a train down there or hitching a ride with somebody going down there. And of course, to do that, I'd have to go all the way over to Salt Lake City, which is an initial 120, 130 miles away from the spot. And then, of course, is the lodging, which is crazy expensive in Anaheim, especially right next to Disneyland. And also food, which is also crazy expensive. So with all that, it would probably cost me less to go to Celebration Anaheim next year than to go to Galaxy's Edge, which is pretty crazy. So yeah, those are the two major reasons, distance and cost, that I will probably not go to Galaxy's Edge anytime in the future. But you know what? That's totally fine. I absolutely despise crowds. I would not want to go alone. I mean, I probably could do it, and if I had that much money to spare, I would definitely spend it on Celebration before I would go back to Disneyland. Plus, everybody's posted videos. Most of the food there, nobody's mentioned anything about dietary restrictions and how that plays out in Galaxy's Edge. I know everything, the theming there is very thorough. In fact, they don't call anything beef or lamb. They call it like runyip or tauntaun or Ronto roasting, something like that. So it would be dairy. It would be very difficult with my dietary restrictions to be able to eat anything there, even if I could afford it. So yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it, and I'm sorry it wasn't longer and more interesting, but getting back after a 2-week hiatus is not as easy as one would expect, especially since lately I've been battling depression. Today's running practice, it was pathetic. I made 3 miles in 55 minutes. I was a slug. I didn't even want to finish today. It was just bad. So anyway, it's definitely been a struggle. I will do my best to get back to you as soon as I possibly can. The expansion into the fantasy genre, I'm going to be using Hobbit Day as a springboard for that, so I'll be getting more into that stuff later. But yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to see more G-rated Star Wars content, go ahead and click that little subscription button down below. Don't forget to check out the links in the description box. I am going to need help again for lodging for FanX coming up in September. Even though I was able to get the tickets for FanX, I got them when they were like half off, so I only paid like $40 for tickets for 3 days. I'm not kidding. FanX is like one of the least expensive conventions I've ever seen. So since I got it back in June, I only paid $40 for that. Everything else is still up in the air. I don't know where I'm going to be getting money for food or transportation. I'm planning on getting... The plan at this point is to get a motel several miles away from downtown and just stay there for a few nights, and then take the rail system or the bus system to the convention center, because I know there's a stop right there, and I know the system fairly well. I've ridden it, well, once is better than none, so I know what's going on with that. But lodging, the least expensive rate I could find for those 4 nights is just about $250 to $300. I think it's over $300 that the cost for the lodging is. And that was the lowest price I could find for that particular weekend. So yeah, I'm going to need some help with that since losing my job and not being able to find another one. I do have a few possibilities for earning a little bit of money between now and then, but they are not guaranteed. In other news, I've got a whole lot of stuff planned, which I will touch on in the following days, but I think I've rambled for long enough. Anyway, I'll see everybody again on Wednesday, and until then, God bless, and may the Force be with you. Bye. Yeah, verse of the week. Check out the links in the description. Check out the description box if you want to know the verse of the week. I can't think of it right this minute.